And then we're sticking around for about half an hour afterwards. We'll let, if there's any questions, I'll see whether Natalie and Matthew can answer them. But then we can have a little chat at the end of it if anyone's got any questions as well. Shall I hand over to you, Natalie? Have you got?
Wonderful.
Go for it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
So my name's Natalie. I am the Business Accounts Manager at Bluestream Academy. Many of you will know who I am. You might have seen my face at exhibitions, conferences, or just simply spoken to me over the phone or via email. I am joined today actually by my colleague Andrew from TeamNet, who's just going to say a few words following the, we're joining with Gilio.
Yeah, thanks, Natalie. Yeah, so likewise, I've probably pestered you all before. I've probably seen you at events. You've probably spoken to me about renewals. And today, Natalie and I are here to discuss how what we're putting forward as our e-learning offering spans across both Bluestream and TeamNet. So just really high level, if you're a TeamNet customer at the moment, I think there's 75 practices use TeamNet in the area. You will have moving forward, you would have the opportunity to decide whether you wanted to complete e-learning within TeamNet or stay within Bluestream. We're not making anyone move to any new systems. That's just the option that you'd have. So Natalie's going to show you the Bluestream side of things, then I'll do a couple of minutes on the TeamNet side of things. But you will be able to do statutory and mandatory somewhere that suits you through us.
Wonderful, thanks, Andrew. So I will share my screen with everyone. Obviously, I won't go through everything because you've all been using Bluestream for many, many years now. So I'll just touch on a few parts of the system that you may have forgotten about, or just don't simply use that. You know, you might think, oh, we could actually use that. Okay. I'm just sharing it now. I'll just wait a second so everyone can see my screen. All right then. So as you know, this is the dashboard when you first log into Bluestream. Over the years, we have added to this feature. So within the top right-hand corner, you can add your company's logo just to personalize the system. And also there is a notification section now. So whenever we update training or if training has come offline, we will notify you from this area, as well as any new releases. And I'm not sure if you guys know, but you can actually pop notifications there yourself. You can let your team members know any information that is needed. Within the management side of the system, like you will probably already know, we do have 18 different reports for you to choose from. So there's none of this paper lying about all over the place. You can get everything that you need directly from the system. Some of the main reports are the completed training report, the incomplete report, and then the external training and the training matrix. With the training matrix, obviously, it's a huge overview of everything that is happening within your organisation, showing your staff members' names, their job roles, and all of the training that is incorporated in your account. You'll also see then anything that has been completed with the completion date and the reset date, so when they're due to retake that. Anything that is expired or that has recently reopened for your staff to complete. Anything that's greyed out, obviously it's not within their profile, and red is incomplete. A few more reports that you might not be utilising yet are our additional courses area. This is just in case anyone has, say if they're within a job role, you want them to complete one piece of training, but not the rest of the job role, you can allocate that specific piece of training to one individual. And this report will show you exactly who has additional courses. And then also the audit report. So anything that you do within the system, you will be able to log here and see exactly what is happening, such as a piece of training has been completed, or a training has been reset for a staff member and an email has been sent. There is a full log there for you. Moving on to the staff section, you've got your manage profiles. So that's obviously where you go in and edit any of the training that is assigned to your team. And then you've also got the staff list area where you can add your staff or you can add external training for them. And then lastly, within the settings area, you've got your course settings. And this is where you would mark anything as mandatory and pop in all of the reset settings for your team. So you could say whether it was 12 months, 2 years, 3 years. And then also the reset period. So that means that the training will reopen prior to the expiry. and then your training will always be in date. That's the aim of it anyway. Okay then. So really brief overview of Bluestream. Is there any questions at all? Or if there is anyone that hasn't used us in the past, would you like a training session?
Can't see any questions at the moment. I can't
see any questions, no. Okay, Andrew, did you want to say a few more words about TeamNet?
Yeah, so I'll just show very similar in the sense, and you'll probably notice some things we maybe copied off Bluestream before we acquired the guys earlier this year, because I realised the matrix I'm going to show is very similar.
Wow.
So yeah, my bad. It's as if practices really like that. So yeah, so from a TeamNet perspective, if you don't have TeamNet at the moment, you don't need to worry about it. This is more for the people who have TeamNet and feel like it would be useful for them to just have one login and do everything from one central place. If you don't have TeamNet, you would go down the route Natalie mentioned and continue doing it through Bluestream. But if you had TeamNet, you'd go into where you're familiar with and you know day to day, and you go into our staff training module where we have all of the very similar statutory mandatory e-learning courses. And as our partnerships grows closer, if there's any that each of us don't have, I'm sure we'll both have them very quickly. So you have the list view. I'm going to show the matrix view, which this is the thing we may have copied. So we have you can see in the matrix view as well. But I think I'm not sat here saying you should use kind of the TeamNet iLearn element over Bluestream because it's better. It's more from an ease perspective. So if you're in TeamNet day to day and you're looking at policies in TeamNet, you're doing your CQC compliance, you're doing your HR records, it probably could be easier for you in your practice to just access your training courses through there. So there's nothing revolutionary different. It's all statutory mandatory training. It's all kind of all of the same stuff. But what it just allows you to do is to complete the training within TeamNet, and then it would store the records within TeamNet. So all the certificates would be stored within TeamNet. So that is really high level. I think from how we've been selling it for kind of years, it's that ability to have everything all in one place, make it really simple to complete your statutory and mandatory training as kind of quickly and as effectively as possible. And then from a practice manager perspective, that reporting, so this all links up to your quality statements tracking within TeamNet, and you would get the same notifications for your statutory and mandatory e-learning that you would get on your homepage for the likes of reading the policy and via your email when you need to complete audits and all of that kind of stuff. One thing to kind of mention, which I think is really important, is kind of I know there's been some comms that come out long term. We'll be working towards a combined system, which allows the best of both worlds, really, and that will be coming probably. I think it was next summer is the plan on that. I think for the purpose of this, and if you guys go forward with us, if you wanted on the 1st of April to transition over for those practices who want to use the iLearn element, we've got good ways of transferring practices over through bulk imports and the like, so you're not wasting loads of time transitioning all of your training over. And yeah, like I said, I think what we've got now, and kind of one of the reasons we look to acquire Bluestream is we think with the two of us, we've got pretty much everything covered. So if you don't use TeamNet, brilliant. There's a great system there in Bluestream. And if you do use TeamNet and you would like to utilize the iLearn element, it's really there and easy for you to use. You may say, look, actually, I use TeamNet, but I've used Bluestream for years and it's amazing. I don't want to change. We're not trying to get anyone to change systems or get extra logins or anything like that. We're just looking to give you a streamlined, easy process to continue what you've been doing for quite a while. That's enough of my talking. Is there any questions on the iLearn element?
Yes. Yeah, I've got a question. Sorry, it's Keely on Lauren's login, actually.
Okay.
But I've just got a question about historical Bluestream modules. Do they feed through to TeamNet?
So how we would do it, we would, within Bluestream, there's a place where you can do a bulk export of all of your training. It feels weird saying this now we're friends.
Doesn't it?
Historically, this was normally part of my time. But yeah, there's a place in Bluestream where you can export all of your courses, and you just send that to our support team and we will put that into your TeamNet portal for you. So we've we've done a lot of work around the mapping, because sometimes there is slightly kind of name differences, but our medical director knows exactly where each maps to. So no, you won't have to do anything again. You won't lose any of your progress. It would be a real seamless transfer across, Keely.
Yeah. And also Bluestream staff can help as well. So just give us a call, drop us an email, and we'll be able to assist.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Bluestream or TeamNet? They're all quiet.
I'm sure there'll be some after, but
Yeah.
send them over by email, that's fine.
If there are, then we can get them over and we can put it in our recorded things if there's any frequently asked questions.
Wonderful.
Perfect. No worries.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you
guys.
very much. And hope to hear from everyone soon.
Yeah, super. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Is Matthew around? Has he been very good? He's only joining it. Are you there?
Who, me? I'm here. I don't know if
No, not
Matthew's
you.
here yet.
Has Matthew joined yet? From
No,
Practice
not
Index?
yet. To be fair to
Not
him,
yet.
he obviously
Okay,
was
that's fine.
allocated 10. I suppose this is just an opportunity just to kind of reiterate what the reason why we're kind of doing this, because I think there has been some kind of misunderstanding in relation. Obviously, we all know the Bluestream is coming to an end, funded by the ICB come March 2026. We're looking at an option for whether the LMC can fund this in part, full, or for practices. So we just wanted to kind of give an opportunity for both kind of the main leading platforms to give a demonstration of obviously their products. Obviously, we're aware that obviously Bluestream kind of already exists in LLR, but we thought to be transparent and open, we wanted to give both networks an opportunity. Obviously, this will need to go through our governance kind of process in relation to whether the board kind of approves this these proposals. So we want to kind of take you guys on the journey kind of with us, really. I think that was just what I wanted to add. Does anybody have any kind of questions in relation to that whilst we're waiting for Practice Index? No. You're all very quiet today.
Charlotte, it's
Right.
Keely again.
Yeah, hi, Keely.
Hi. I just wanted to, in terms of a decision-making process, what will it be? Are you going to, I don't know whether you want to talk about that now or if...
Yeah, so my understanding of what the decision-making process will be, we will provide a paper with an engagement exercise, along with obviously the proposals submitted by Bluestream and Agilio, so Practice Index. Sorry, the other way around. Anyway, the two providers, it'll be decided by the LMC board, obviously whether they fund it in part or full. With a decision, obviously we're given in a lot of advance notice. So then obviously if it's not made, or you choose a different, because we can't fund both providers. So it'll be a decision we'll fund one if that's a decision that the board kind of makes. Obviously taking in kind of longevity and all those kind of things as well. Because obviously what we don't want to be doing is having the same conversation in 2 years' time. So yes, it'll be a decision of the LMC board in relation to the finances, obviously whether this is funds. And I know Grant's here and Sarah's here, so if you have anything to add, then please.
And I think it's worth noting so I pushed on the text message earlier. We need as bigger engagement. We need to know, or the board needs to be aware of how important this is to practices, and I think especially practice managers, because there's the e-learning, the e-learning for health, and that is a free access for us to go to have our e-learning. But what when we initially spoke about it at board, I was saying is there's no management program there, and there's no easy monitoring. We have to rely on all staff in order to give us the certificates and have our own matrices, have our own reminder system of when our staff are going to be running out of their e-learning to keep us compliant. So if practices feel strongly that this is something that is really useful and has been useful, we need a really large, force of how much we think this is useful. So we need a big engagement. It will make it a bit more powerful to take it to board. So please do respond to the poll afterwards.
Thank you.
Sorry, Grant.
No, that's right. I think you said it all. I mean, from an LMC point of view, we're very keen on trying to support practices for this, but we will be obviously guided by what practices want and need, and then the other factor, of course, is what will the cost be on as Charlotte says. I mean, the options are we sort of just negotiate a discount for everyone in the area, that we part fund it while the MC funds it. The decision will be in the board at the end.
So Claire has asked a question about the TeamNet cost. So it's my understanding that eLearn is a separated add-on, but I don't have eLearn, so someone might know more than this. I think if TeamNet then upped their costs and practices wanted to pull out of TeamNet, you would just flick straight over to Bluestream. You wouldn't be paying for it twice, and I don't know whether we've already asked this question, that if someone is paying for eLearn, that they then stop and get reimbursed. Is that something we've asked, Charlotte, or is that something I need to take back to Andrew?
I think we kind of touched on it when we had our initial meeting with them, but to be honest, I can't remember what the
I'm
the
pretty
answer
sure he
was. So
said
we
the
can.
practices would be reimbursed if you're halfway through a contract. If you paid for eLearn because you loved TeamNet and you thought, well, forget Bluestream, I think you would be reimbursed for that. But I can double check that.
Let me just see if I can get Matthew to join earlier. Bear with me a second.
It's me again, Keely. Just to say, if only 70 practices or so are using it in the area, what are other practices doing?
My understanding that because Practice Index do have their own HRE, they have a similar platform, don't they? So
yeah.
I think his relation to 70 practices, that was just for TeamNet, not Bluestream.
Oh right, I thought Bluestream said that they got 70 odd.
No, so Bluestream, everyone's got.
That should be everybody, shouldn't it? Yeah. Okay,
yes,
fair
everyone's
enough.
got access to Bluestream, but I do think that some practices have independently bought Practice Index or eLearn so that it integrates with their HR management system. And felt that was more worthwhile. But no, so all 127 practices have current access to Bluestream training.
Okay, thank you.
Only 70 practices have TeamNet and could have it as eLearn as an add-on if they wanted to. The others, I don't know. I think that the practices that I know, a lot of them use Practice Index. I don't know who actively uses Bluestream. I know that we do, but I don't know what practices are using if they don't use it. If most
What's the difference? We didn't ask the. I don't actually know the difference between the eLearn and the Bluestream. Then, what is the difference then? If
it's the access to it. So do you have TeamNet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't buy the eLearn.
If you go on your management and go onto eLearn, it says to you can apply for it. And so fundamentally there's no difference to it. It's just how you access it and how it stores it.
Right.
So if you amalgamate your Bluestream into your eLearn, this is my understanding of it, then it will go into your staff's, it will do the reminders like it does that they've got to read a policy, or they've got a premises check to do, or they've got a blah, 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 blah. It'll all integrate in there. It will link through to, you can then link it to your quality statements on your CQC tracker. Bluestream is obviously an independent portal where you go on, you can download your matrix, you can say to the CQC, look, everybody's green, we're fabulous, this is the mandatory training that we do, and here's everyone's certificates.
But when he says about uploading Bluestream into TeamNet, is he talking about uploading historical Bluestream into eLearn?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
So you don't have to do that manual process of going through and ticking the boxes and making sure that the last date's on there and stuff like that.
And then going forward, if we did that, if we moved everything from Bluestream into eLearn, going forward, we'd then access all
You'd access your training through eLearn, not Bluestream.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah, you wouldn't have two systems.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I think Matthew has joined us, so if you could, I think he's here.
I'm here.
Hello.
Perfect.
Hi, Matthew. That's
Hiya.
perfect. Are you ready if we hand over to you?
You
5
can hand
minutes
over to
early.
me by all means, yeah.
Super.
Okie doke. So good morning, everybody. My name's Matt from Practice Index. And I'm going to talk to you about the learning package this morning, which is hosted in the Practice Index Hub, which is this area that I'm sharing obviously now. The hub is free for any practice to register. So this is where we host a number of resources, including our learning package subscription. So this is the first page that your staff members would come to when they log in. And obviously, depending on the resources that you're using within the hub, they're going to see various things here which relate to themselves. So the learning would be the courses that are next due at the top here. And also at the bottom here, you can see the courses that are due. Now, for everything in the hub, staff members are alerted in 3 ways. So it's on this dashboard when they log in terms of the things they need to look at, the courses they need to complete. They get an email, obviously to the registered email address, and also this bell lights up. So in the top right-hand corner, this would be the person's notifications. So if you click view all notifications, it's going to take you to this page here where we could filter it. So we're looking at learning. So if we click learning and search, this is all the reminders or things that obviously relate to the learning side. Now, in terms of the emails, staff can configure these based on their working pattern. So when they're getting these reminders and notifications, the hub can be used on a mobile phone, tablet as well. Obviously, the view changes, and within the settings, you have got the option to turn on multi-factor authentication if you wish. So that's something you can utilize. Now, if we go to our staff list now, this is where you would have obviously the list of staff members within your practice. Now, Practice Index can import your staff members on your behalf if you wish. We can also assign job roles and admin responsibilities, and also migrate historic learning history from other systems such as Bluestream, TeamNet, or even your own matrix that you may have created on maybe an Excel spreadsheet or something. Now, in terms of staff members, you can see that some of these, well, all of these have got job roles next to them. So the job roles on this left-hand side would be pre-populated for you. So obviously these are all different primary care job roles. If we go into one of these, so we go into GP, then first of all, we're going to see the names of staff members that are a GP in this fictitious demonstration practice. We could easily add additional staff members from our drop-down list. So once you've registered staff members in your Hub account, they're going to appear in this drop-down list here. The second tab is around the courses that a GP may undertake. So these will be pre-populated for you, and we'll come on to the courses in a minute, but in here you can coordinate practice index courses, your own, or also e-learning for health courses. And then if you didn't want a GP, let's say, to do the anaphylaxis course, you could untick that. You could change the retake period, and you could make the course mandatory or not. So you've got the option there to configure courses based on your requirements. If we go back to the staff list and we go into somebody's profile via this edit pencil, this is where you'd be adding information about this particular individual. So their first name, surname, email address, things such as job roles. So these are all the pre-populated job roles for you, or any that you've created yourself. Staff members can have as many job roles as you wish. You've also got the ability, if you have, say, a new starter, to automatically auto-enroll them on all the courses to their job role. And then you can also create what's called teams of staff. So this might be a good example, could be like the reception manager, got a team of receptionists. You can create what's called teams. So these are some of the teams we've created in this practice. So if we're adding a team, let's say we were calling it the reception team, we would just need to pick the names of the staff members that are part of this team. So these just sit on this team, they haven't got any admin rights. And then the team leader for this group of staff could enroll just the staff members we've ticked on training courses. So you can delegate the management of certain individuals if you wish. And then if we go back to our staff list, once you've set all of this up, you can see staff members by the teams you've created, staff members by their job roles, so their day jobs, if you like, they're a GP, nurse and so forth, and then also something called hub roles. So hub roles are admin rights for the whole practice. So again, if we go back to one of our staff members and go to this edit pencil, second tab is hub roles. So this is where you might want someone to coordinate something for the whole practice, and there is a admin right of a learning manager. So that would mean that the staff member can enroll all staff members on a particular course. There is a little description next to each admin right you're giving. And then you can see this is Jane Baggins's profile at the top here. This is who we're logged in as. You can see in the top right hand corner. Now, all these tabs relate to various different elements in the hub for this individual. So you've got the courses. We could enroll this particular person on all the courses they're enrolled on currently. There is filters in here. So again, you can filter by role, the mandatory courses. These are aligned to the skills framework for health. If I just remove this filter, there's about 230 courses in the hub to choose from. You can see next to some of them, we've got a little M for mandatory, job role specific, and then also the recommended retake period. You can see when a course was previously completed. So this course here, bullying harassment, was last completed in June 2023, and it's due every 36 months. So the system is automatically going to start sending reminders to this person 60 days before the course is due in April 2026. And then if I wanted to add this individual onto a course, I can click this little green button here which says add. And then you've got a couple of options. So if you click add to my learning now, it will give the learner 60 days So 60 days from now is the 30th of November. Alternatively, you can obviously pick any date you'd like them to complete this course by. You can set an automatic retake period. Does default to the recommended, so you can override that if you wish. Or alternatively, this is what we can do for you, you can signify that a course has been completed elsewhere, and obviously the date it was completed, and then it will reappear at the appropriate time on the Practice Index hub. You've also got the staff members' learning history in this next hub. So this shows everything that they are currently studying, and these little triangles are, well, they're warnings to show that actually that person is overdue. It does send them multiple emails and reminders. It sends 6 emails and multiple hub alerts. You've got what's coming up in the future, and then also anything previously studied along with all the certificates. You've got the option to download a PDF report of the person's learning history. Let's just download this and show you that. So you can see here what the person's currently working on. Anything's been completed historically. Actually shows how long it took them to complete the course as well within there. You can download all their certificates into a zip file if you required them all. You've also got things such as copies actually of the emails that have been sent to them. This is their contact history. So this is for your manager to see when these emails and reminders were sent. A change log. So if I'd enrolled someone on a course, it would show that I'd done that on a certain date. Also the individual's activity. So when they're logging in and completing courses or reading policies or training or whatever it may be, you can keep notes on them. And then there's some other tabs in here which relate to other elements of the hub which are unique to this particular individual. One of them is policies, so you can store policies within the hub as well. And this is the policies they've read, copies of things like signatures and so forth. So you've got that for each staff member. Now, if we go back to our staff list, obviously there may be occasions where you want to enroll multiple staff on a course. So in this top right hand corner, you've got a button that says enroll staff. And you can either do that by beginning to type somebody's name and adding them to this list here, learners, or it could be by roles. So you might say, let's have all administrators and all care coordinators and all HCAs. You click add now, it's going to add those staff members. And then you've got your courses here on this right hand side. So let's select a course, or you can start typing a course that you'd like them to complete. It will bring up the names there. The date you'd like this group of staff to complete the course by, and then also the automatic retake period, which again you can amend if you wish. And then you could update their existing enrollment. So if someone maybe was quite overdue and hadn't completed it, this would restart the process for them. So when you click enroll, all those staff members are going to be enrolled on that particular course. Now, if we look at the course library in terms of what's available within the Practice Index learning package, there is 4 elements in terms of the subscription. There is actually some free courses that you can utilize like a taster or trial of the system. There's 9 courses here. These were originally funded by NHS England. These are around leadership. There is the Stata mandatory training. So there's around 90 courses, all created for primary care, obviously. These are the courses that staff will be completing every 12 to 36 months. Typically take between about 30 to 60 minutes to complete. If we go to this little arrow in the top right hand corner of any of the courses, you can see an overview of the course objectives. You could preview the course. So you wanted to look at the content before you enrolled people on it. You've got an overview of where your staff members are up to. So we can see here for this course, we've got 12 people overdue. So if we click the 12, it's going to tell us who they are and when they were supposed to have completed the course by. We could send them a reminder manually if we wished, or withdraw them from the course. You can export this report to Excel. You've got the ability to also add materials or documents that you'd like people to read or view at the same time as completing the course. You can download everyone's certificate for that course. You could link it. So within the hub, you could link it to multiple other areas. So you might want to link it to a policy, say. Well, these are all different hub areas. Or you can link it to what's called CQC evidence. Actually suggests where you should link the course. And then you've also got what's called a table view. So this will show the courses and then where all your staff members are up to, and a little pie chart to show progress. So you've got that for the stat and mandatory or any of the courses within your hub account. There is also something called masterclasses. So these are longer multi-module courses that staff members take at their own pace. These courses typically take between about 2 and 10 hours to complete. So we've got courses on care navigation and correspondence management, change management. There is what's called a CQC masterclass, a practice management masterclass, a HR masterclass, which has been written by a lady called Robin, one of the directors at the Institute of General Practice Management, a receptionist's masterclass. Again, if you click any of those arrows, it's going to show you the module overview and where your staff members are up to. There is something called facilitated learning. So this is learning that we've designed for you to take in groups if you wish. So within these sessions, there's lots of pre-recorded videos that you can start and stop, and also resources that you can print out to take the training together as a team. And then we also include what's called lunchtime learning. It's in this top right hand corner here. So these are live sessions that we put on with a physical speaker. They're all on Teams. So these are some of the sessions that we've got coming up throughout October and November. So if we went into any of these, there's one on today, you can see at 12:30, then there is an overview of the session. And then it uses an automated booking system. So if you click on the link, you just need to put in one person's details initially, and then you can add further staff members if a few people wanted to join that particular course. So those 4 elements, your stat and mandatory, your masterclasses, your facilitated learning, and your live sessions called lunchtime learning, are all included within the learning package. There is the option to upload your own courses. So if somebody comes into the practice, maybe delivers some practical training, you could record this in the hub. So you just add a new course, give it a name. You could have courses from just recording a date or a PowerPoint, or even SCORN files or API files in here, depending on what you've created. You can host all of those in the hub if you wish. Obviously, we would offer any support and help if you wanted to upload those. There is also eLearning for Health courses. So at the moment, we've uploaded about 90 courses. So we've got things like COVID in here, flu, Oliver McGowan. So you can see a full list there. Now, if there's a course that you require that's not currently in that list, there is a link to the catalogue. So if you tell us the name of the course, then we can normally upload that into the hub for you, unless there's restrictions with eLearning for Health directly. Some of them can't be published elsewhere. And then finally, there's other courses. These came from the Calderdale, Kirklees and Wakefield Respect team. So there's some respect training there that they asked us to upload. So we added that to the hub. And then all of your staff members whatever you've enrolled them on will see the My Learning section. So this is the list of obviously the courses they've been enrolled on. Some of them say start, some say continue. The system saves progress. So obviously if they don't complete a course, they're all in one go. When they click continue, it's going to take them back to where they left off. If you do enroll them on a course and they say, well, actually, I've already completed that in my previous job, or if they've moved practices maybe, then they can upload a copy of the certificate on your behalf and signify when they completed that. Staff members can download a copy of their learning history. They can download all the certificates into a zip file. They can see that lunchtime learning timetable. And then the system also interlinks with 14 Fish. So you can link your 14 Fish account. Staff members can also see what's called My Learning History. So once they've completed a course, they can see the objectives. They can go back into it if they want to recap with any of the information if they wish. There is, for managers, the reporting option. So you've got this reports tab. So this is going to show all of your staff members. However, you can build your own filters. So things like enrollment status, particular course names you might be interested in. And then when you put these filters in, you can save them. So you can give the search a name. And then once you've saved it, I've got one here, nurse and HCA overdue training. I click that, it's going to run that report for me, show me all the nurses and HCAs that got overdue training, and then I could send them a reminder. System does do it automatically, but you could send them a reminder manually if you wished. Or alternatively, you can just export what's called a training matrix, and then the system will produce for you an Excel-based report which shows your staff member's name, the name of the course that you've enrolled them on, the rough duration it should take to complete. Green is obviously complete and when the course is next due. Red is overdue and when it was supposed to be completed by, and then amber is courses that are due in a month or less and when it's due by. So that is the learning package. Now at the top of each page there is video guides on how to utilize all the resources. We've got, where it says help, the ability to book what's called support sessions. So we offer as much help, support and training as you and your staff members require. There are times available on a daily basis. So we go into your account, hold a webinar with you, ask any questions or answer any questions that you've got. There is live chat within the hub. So you can pick up the phone and ring us, or there is also what's called this help center. And within here, we have recorded hundreds of pre-recorded guides, overviews on how to coordinate all the different resources within the hub. So you've got Learning Manager here, a full overview, which explains, 36-minute long video, which explains how it all works. There is shorter videos, obviously, you can share with your staff members, all the various different types. And then finally, we've got what's called course defaults. So this is the courses, all the courses in the hub, and you can filter. And the retake period, whether the courses are mandatory or not. This is where you would specify how long you're giving staff members to complete the course routinely, and also whether you're sending reminders or not. So let me just stop sharing my screen for a minute and I'll come back to you all to see if anyone's got any questions that you'd like to ask.
So there was a question in the chat, if PCNs or federations were to use practice index training for the R's roles they employ on behalf of practices, can you enable practices to view the R's training records in any way? Or how can this be easily shared? Some staff work over multiple practices, for example.
Okay. So yeah, there's a functionality in the hub I can show you. where basically if an hour's role staff works between 3 or 4 practices, the training that they've done will follow them around. So let's just go back in here. So it's just, this is a fictitious PCN account I've also got. So it's called the Greenfield PCN. You've got your staff members in here, and then within the settings, you've got this tick share learning. So if someone completes a training course in one of the accounts within the PCN, that information will then be updated across all the practice in the PCN, so the relevant practice managers can see those certificates and records of when the training's been completed. So people obviously don't get enrolled on it multiple times, they need to do it once.
But does that only work if every practice in the PCN has a practice index hub learning account? Or if they don't, for example, what if, how does the PCN share it then?
So they'd have to obviously have a hub account themselves to be able to look at the training within that they've completed, but they only need to complete it. Let's say you've got 5 practices. 3 of them are registered for the hub. The record obviously stored within the hub, so that's how they would, the 3 practices will be able to see that information. They have to have a hub account to be able to obviously follow them around, and for the relevant practice manager to log into the hub and see the records.
Thank you. Does practice index include the Oliver McGowan modules?
The Oliver McGowan training is in there. Level 1, obviously that's an eLearning for Health course. Obviously level 2, I believe, is a practical face-to-face one. So you've got the level 1 in there, yes. Lauren O'Brien, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong.
Yeah, my name's Keely. I'm on Lauren's login at the moment. If we all moved over to Practice Index, and you said you can upload our pre-learning, how long would that take you to do? Is it a manual job your end, or does it automatically kind of update?
So if someone moves over, we offer the people routinely now the opportunity for us to migrate their historic learning information. Typically, we would say for an individual practice, 2 to 3 days for us to upload it. Obviously, if we've got quite a volume of practices, we might say 1 or 2 weeks, but it's a relatively quick process, something that we've got automated, and we can, in our back end, obviously import it all for you. So from a practice's point of view, the work for you is quite minimal. It is just the information that we require from you in terms of you sending it to us is probably the back and forth, if you like. Once we've done that, we'll ask you to check it, the import that we've done. We would eliminate any emails to your staff members in terms of reminders until you've given the go ahead and you pick a particular start date where these reminders start coming automatically to staff members.
And does that amalgamation include roles, mandatory training, yes or no, the months, everything?
Yeah, so you've got obviously the date that the course was last completed. You've got people's job roles. You can also have admin rights and responsibilities in terms of who you want to coordinate various things.
Yes, but the amalgamation has set that up for you. Yeah,
absolutely. We're going to set it all up. Occasionally there might be a course that's a bit of a funny name that we don't quite know what it is, so we'll liaise with you on that, but we would do all of that on your behalf.
Any more questions, anybody?
Okay, thank you, Matthew. We will let you go if there's any further questions, and we will get you to answer them and then send them out to everybody, if that's okay.
Of course.
Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Okay. Any questions for myself, Charlotte, or Grant, if he's still on? He's disappeared off my screen.
I suppose from my perspective, being in the LNC, it'd be really nice just to have a kind of an open kind of conversation, just to kind of understand people's kind of initial feelings are at this kind of stage, really. So do we want to just kind of turn our cameras on and just maybe have a bit of a chin wag? Oh, well done, Keely.
There's a lot of Blue Stream comments on there. So there was a thing about how I read the Blue Stream email last week. They're going to combine Blue Stream and TeamNet. They are owned by the same company, but they are still keeping Blue Stream as a standalone portal. So if those that don't have TeamNet will not be forced to get and pay for TeamNet. Blue Stream is staying as it is in its own portal, but they are being owned.
I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's what you know. We use TeamNet and we use Blue Stream, so the idea that that can then be merged will be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you've got to vote for your own practice and what you want, and I think that that will be taken into account. You know, if 60 practices or 100 practices say we want to stick with Blue Stream and 20 say TeamNet, then you know that has that power. Oh, well, not power, but it has it signifies what practices will find easier. So. Does anybody here use Practice Index already? Is it any good?
We use Practice Index, and I must say the courses on Practice Index are easier to do, and they are a bit less click, click, click than Blue Stream ones can be. But we have TeamNet as well, and I've been sitting here listening going, well, if you can merge Blue Stream and TeamNet, it seems like a no-brainer. But the Practice Index courses are good. So there are pros and cons to both, I think. But yeah, I think that the TeamNet, if you've got TeamNet already, like Laura said, the idea of being able to merge the two would be great, and have just one login for staff and go, right, you do everything else through TeamNet, you book your annual leave, you don't have to remember another login. It's a no-brainer, really. But the Practice Index, my staff do like the Practice Index courses and the master classes and things like that. And so, yeah, but given the choice, I think the ease of having just one login, I would go Blue Stream every time.
I suppose there's the thing, like if you're already paying for Practice Index, no one's turning around and saying don't. That's already an additional thing that you're paying for. So for your practice, nothing need change if you know there was funding provided for the Blue Stream thing.
Yeah, we bought our PCN bought Practice Index, and then we had it as an add-on we purchased it for 1 year, but I don't think I'd renew the Practice Index at the end of the year if we were going to have the ability to move Blue Stream into TeamNet.
Keely, you still got your hand up? Is it historical?
No, it was a new one, but I have completely forgot the question that I was going to ask. It was, oh no, I know, training. It was, yes, I agree with Jess. I really liked, I mean, I don't use Practice Index training, but from what he was just saying there, I really liked some of the stuff that they were offering, and I particularly liked that facilitated sessions, the lunchtime learning. It's a different set of training options compared to Blue Stream, would be my observation. And I'm just wondering that maybe is this an opportunity to kind of go back to Blue Stream whilst we're umming and ahhing, saying is there something in their future planning to do something similar to Practice Index around those, you know, Teams type training sessions rather than the online you know, the kind of online modules. Just a thought.
Keely, I'm happy to ask that question to Andy anyway, because we're going to contact him about the other queries. So yeah.
Oh, and I've put in the chat as well that for those that weren't aware, that you can access the eLearning for Health training via Bluestream. It just kind of links to their the same portal, but just so that, you know, if you're thinking you've got to have a Bluestream and a eLearning for Health, etc., I think the things do all link in.
So Judith uses the practice index for the holidays and stuff instead of the GPT-net. And I can't stress this enough, that we are only looking at training aspects for all of these platforms. We are not looking nor encouraging practice index or TeamNet as your HR whatever. And there's certainly no offer to pay for that, because that'd be extortionate. Just make that abundantly clear.
I wasn't asking that, Sarah.
No, I know you
No,
were.
I was just saying,
I thought I'm just going to make that observation.
No, I wasn't asking that. No, I'm just saying we've chosen to have practice index rather than TeamNet, and we do really like it. However, yeah, it's not so intuitive when you're starting to set everything out in the first place. But I think you've always said that with TeamNet anyway, haven't you? Whereas Bluestream is the easy one to just add somebody to a role and then they get their list of modules. So that's all a lot easier. I also don't like Practice Index for the fact that they have one charge and then they decide, oh, actually, once we've got you set up, we're going to separate that and we're going to charge for that separately. And then we're going to increase our prices by 70%. And it's a dreadful money making, get you hooked and then double it kind of company.
That's interesting to know. I think although we'd make it like Charlotte said earlier about the longevity, we're looking at obviously the longer term contract, so that shouldn't happen, but yeah. Okay, so what happens next? So what happens next is this recording is going to be taken off and we are going to be sending this out to all practices. Included on that email is going to be a poll that will be open for a couple of weeks, just to give people a chance to get back off annual leave that have missed it. Then after that, we will be getting in all of the responses. And like I have said before, we really need a good 80% of all practices to be responding, at least with your opinion. So that we can say, you know, we can demonstrate how important this is to all practices. So please don't ignore it. I know how many emails are sat in your inboxes, but please do get it and do just have you vote. And then Charlotte and I will be drafting a paper to take to board, which is not this month. We're going to take it to next month, aren't we? Yeah. Keely, hand is up.
Yeah. Did you say earlier, and I missed it, that you were looking at a 1-year contract with either of them, or is this dependent on cost, potentially for longer?
So when we approach both providers, we have looked at multiple kind of years with the aspect that it would be funded over multiple years, because I don't see the benefit of going through this exercise just for 1 year in the sense. But obviously we can only take it to the board and it comes out of our hands of obviously what decision. So from perspective, I would anticipate it would be for multiple years.
Alison, do you want to come in?
Yeah, thanks very much. I just want to kind of just hear what's happening with the R's side. Obviously, they access the Bluestream training currently, and I just wonder, is the LMC bringing those costs into it as well, or are you just solely looking at practice support? Because it's going to have a potential knock-on impact for costs for PCNs and things if they're kind of not enabled in the whole process of change. So I don't know, Charlotte, whether that's been
we certainly
accounted
anticipate
for.
that. Yeah, we certainly anticipate that will be the case. I will be going back to both providers just to make sure it's kind of crystal clear that obviously they will be accounted for within those kind of numbers.
Super, thank you.
Right. So just to kind of a plea from me, obviously when this kind of goes out, we would really encourage practices to engage with it. We know everybody's busy, but we really want to be able to go to the LMC board with a strong understanding that this is a really required element. And obviously if we only have 20 kind of responses, it doesn't kind of give us the message that we really want to give, that we know how you kind of feel around the training. So if you could really support us in this, that would be really helpful.
And the chat is interesting with people's initial reactions to which one they would prefer, but just to let you know, the poll will be going out and that poll needs to be done rather than just popping it on there. But that is a really interesting to get people's first feelings on what they would pick. But yeah, just to make that clear. Okay, any more? Then we will give you 25 minutes of your life back to crack on with that long list of emails you've got unread or red flagged.
Bye.
Right.